1970s were packed with more music than any classic rock station could ever hope to play. For every anthem that still gets radio time, 10 equally brilliant songs quietly vanished. These are 10 obscure 70s songs that only kids from that decade truly remember. If rediscovering the music you grew up with is your thing, consider subscribing so you never miss a list like this one. Number 10. Temptation Eyes, The Grassroots. Temptation Eyes arrived in 1970 and hit number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100. It is a full-throttle pop rock song, built on a thumping backbeat and a vocal performance from Rob Grill that walks the tightrope between yearning and desperation. The Grassroots were a Los Angeles band who racked up an impressive 17 consecutive top 40 hits between 1966 and 1972, placing them in the same commercial league as many of their better-remembered contemporaries. Moves my soul, and she knows I love to love her. Temptation Eyes was among their finest, and the record it came from received strong critical attention at the time. Today, classic rock stations barely acknowledge the band exists. Their catalog has slipped almost entirely off the cultural radar, a clean sweep of erasure for a band that spent 6 years planting themselves firmly in the American top 40. Put it on. You will wonder how you forgot.
Come on, girl, make your way. We can start from today.
Number 9. Ride, Captain, Ride, Blues Image.
Off of their ship, and here's what they had to say.
By the spring of 1970, a Florida psychedelic rock band had managed to do something that eluded dozens of better-funded acts: crack the top 5. Ride, Captain, Ride reached number 4 on both the American and Canadian charts. The band, Blues Image, was led by vocalist Mike Pinera, whose voice had the kind of warm, road-worn quality that felt tailor-made for open windows and long drives. The song had an effortless, almost hypnotic quality, part rock, part soul, and threaded through with a keyboard line that could make even the most ordinary Tuesday feel like an adventure. Blues Image dissolved shortly after the single's success, which may explain why they never built on the momentum. But the song itself is a quietly stunning artifact of early 70s FM rock, one that drifted off the dial and never really came back. Anyone who heard it as a kid in 1970 never forgot it. Most of the people born after 1980 have never heard it at all.
Captain, ride upon your mystery ship.
Number 8. Walking in Rhythm, The Blackbyrds.
Get home. Walking in rhythm.
That is where Walking in Rhythm landed on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1975. It is one of those songs that makes the room feel different the second the needle drops. The Blackbyrds were a Washington, D.C.-based jazz-funk group formed under the mentorship of legendary trumpeter Donald Byrd. And their sound was something genuinely new, smooth but propulsive, rooted in jazz but dressed in the language of soul and funk.
I'm tired and so all alone.
Walking in Rhythm was their calling card, and it deserved to launch a decade-long run of hits. It didn't. Happy Music in 1976 reached number 19. After that, silence. The group never cracked the top 40 again. That single trajectory, one genuine hit, one follow-up, and then a fade to black, makes Walking in Rhythm the kind of song only the most devoted 70s music fans still carry around. It is polished, effortless, and completely buried.
Walking in rhythm, singing my song.
Number 7. Magic, Pilot.
Oh ho, it's magic, you know.
Bubbling up from the Edinburgh pop rock scene in 1974, a Scottish band called Pilot dropped a single that crackled with sheer joy. Magic, with its cascading piano figure, hand claps, and a chorus that essentially demanded to be sung by every person in earshot, became an immediate hit on both sides of the Atlantic.
Oh ho, it's magic, you know.
It reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 11 on the UK singles chart. One hit. That was all. Pilot never charted in the American Top 40 again, and Magic drifted from radio playlists as quickly as it had arrived on them. What makes this particularly sad is that the song itself is nearly flawless popcraft. The production, helmed by Alan Parsons, who had recently worked on Dark Side of the Moon, was crisp, warm, and layered in a way that still holds up beautifully. The people who remember 1974 vividly remember Magic. Everyone else has to be reminded. Number 6. How Long?
How long has this been going on?
Stripped Down. Piano Forward. A question asked in 3 syllables that somehow contains every complicated feeling a relationship can produce. How Long, by Ace, reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became one of the most recognizable sounds on AM radio that fall. Carrick's voice was instantly arresting, a rich, weathered instrument that suggested a man who had been through more than his 23 years should have allowed. Ace never cracked the top 40 again. Carrick went on to sing lead on Mike and the Mechanics' The Living Years and Squeeze's Tempted, but the band's only moment of real commercial impact was this single. The song is a masterpiece of economy, every note exactly where it needs to be, nothing wasted, nothing overdone. Finding it today requires a deliberate effort. Once it was inescapable.
It could happen to us any day. And how long?
We are exactly halfway through, and the songs are only getting harder to believe were ever forgotten. Drop a comment and tell us where you are watching from tonight. And while you were down there, did any of these songs just unlock a memory you hadn't thought about in years? Back to the list. Number 5. Miracles. Jefferson Starship.
I feel the power of the feeling of the weekend.
Before Jefferson Starship became the pumped-up arena rock band of the 1980s, churning out polished FM hits like We Built This City, they were recording something far stranger and more intimate. And in 1975, it reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it their highest-charting single of the decade, a fact that seems almost impossible given how completely the song has vanished from the collective memory of people who did not grow up listening to AM radio in that specific window of time when Miracles, written by Marty Balin, sung by Marty Balin, and carried entirely on the strength of his impossibly gentle voice, was absolutely everywhere. Balin departed the band a few years later. The song went with him into obscurity. The band's subsequent hits became far more famous. Miracles is still one of the most purely emotional recordings of the entire decade. Patient, unguarded, and completely forgotten. Number 4. Living Next Door to Alice. Smokie.
Reasons, but I just don't wanna know, 'cause for 24 years I've been living next door.
In Bradford, Yorkshire, England, a band called Smokie quietly became one of the most successful soft rock acts of the mid-1970s, without anyone outside of their core fan base seeming to notice. Living Next Door to Alice, released in 1976, reached number 5 on the UK singles chart and hit the top 20 in multiple European countries. It is a song about a man who spends years in love with his neighbor and never says a word, only to watch her drive away the morning she finally leaves. The story is heartbreaking in the gentlest possible way.
Guess she's got her reasons, but I just don't wanna know, 'cause for 24 years I've been living next.
The melody is warm, unhurried, and built for a late summer afternoon. American audiences largely missed it, and as the disco era swallowed everything in its path, Smokie's entire catalog disappeared from view. British kids who were teenagers in 1976 know this song the way they know their own postcodes. Almost nobody else does.
24 years just waiting for a chance to tell her how I feel and maybe get a second.
Number 3. Sentimental Lady. Bob Welch.
But I could look away, you'd be gone.
Capitol Records pressed and released Sentimental Lady in 1977, and the music industry mostly shrugged. Then radio picked it up. Then it started climbing. The song eventually reached number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100, giving Bob Welch one of the cleanest, most unlikely hits of the late 1970s.
Come rushing by in my head when I'm with you. 14 joys and a real good night.
The irony is that Welch had originally recorded the song 5 years earlier with Fleetwood Mac on their 1972 album Bare Trees, but it was the solo version, softer and more polished, that caught fire. Welch left Fleetwood Mac in 1974, just before the band's commercial explosion with the Buckingham Nicks lineup. He became a solo footnote while his former band went supernova. Sentimental Lady is the last evidence that Welch had something genuinely special in him. It faded quietly from radio, and so did he.
14 joys and a real good memory. All of the things that they say are.
Number 2. Driver's Seat. Sniff and the Tears.
Come walk with me. Gonna dance the day away.
1979 produced a handful of songs that don't fit neatly into any genre, and this is one of them. The band Sniff and the Tears, led by vocalist and guitarist Paul Roberts, released Driver's Seat into a music landscape caught between disco, punk, and the emerging new wave, and somehow landed somewhere none of those labels quite cover. It reached number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100. In the UK, it charted at number 42, which felt inexplicably low for a song this atmospheric. The opening guitar riff alone, unhurried, almost hypnotic, is one of the more distinctive sounds of its era. Roberts' vocals sit just below the surface of the arrangement, cool and slightly detached, as if he is watching the scene from a great distance. It is the kind of song that sounds equally right in a shopping mall in 1979 and a moody film score in 2025. Most people under 50 have never encountered it. Those who heard it as teenagers have never gotten it out of their heads.
Jenny was sweet. She always smiled for the people she meet.
Number 1. Dancing in the Moonlight, the King Harvest.
Just quite a natural sight. Everybody dancing in the moonlight.
In the summer of 1972, a song arrived on AM radio that seemed to have no agenda at all. No message, no heartbreak, no urgency. Just the simple, irresistible sensation of a warm night, a good crowd, and the feeling that everything was, for the moment, completely fine. Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest reached number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 that September and stuck around the charts for weeks.
Oh, the herons out of sight. They don't bark and they don't bite. They keep things.
The band was an American rock group who never had another notable hit, and the song itself never found a permanent home on classic rock radio. But something about it has kept it alive, shared in films, television shows, and commercials for half a century now, always arriving to make the scene feel lighter than it did before.
Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody feeling warm and right.
It is the musical equivalent of a cool breeze on a July evening. If you grew up in the early 1970s, you know exactly how it felt to hear it for the first time. And you are smiling right now,